It started with tire tracks. Not just any tracks, either. I mean the kind that cut clean through the dew on a morning when you know exactly where your truck's been and who's been up your driveway. It was just after sunrise. I'm talking that pale light when the whole valley's quiet, and you can still hear the cows breathing down in the pasture. Those tracks were wide, sharp, all-terrain, not the type a local rancher rolls on. More like what you'd see in a subdivision where folks start believing a HOA badge makes them invincible. I brushed it off at first. GPS screws up around these hills all the time. People take wrong turns, you know how it goes. But then it kept happening. Every damn time I checked the cameras, same white SUV. HOA logo on the side, Larkspur Hills Patrol, real official. Now, if you know anything about this part of Colorado, you know a ranch road is private by default. Mine's got gates, fences, posted signs everywhere. I built that stretch myself, paid every penny, and I keep it in better shape than the county does their own roads. The legal line between Larkspur Hills, that HOA Disneyland, and my property isn't just clear, it's double underlined at the courthouse. So, you can imagine how it felt when, 2 nights later, I see not one but 2 HOA patrol officers walk right through my gate. Didn't break it, didn't climb, just strolled in like they belonged. Either they tailgate somebody or they had the code, and the second possibility really got under my skin. One starts snapping pictures of my barn and garage. The other is out there with a tape measure, mumbling about gradients and slope compliance. HOA talk for, we're about to make this your problem. Now, I don't take well to threats, subtle or otherwise. My cameras run high def, motion triggered, and back everything up in triplicate. I locked the gate, drove straight into town to the sheriff's office. Still got a few friends there from my days on the force, before a busted shoulder and a bad fall put me out to pasture. Sheriff Harlan didn't need convincing. He leaned in, squinting at the footage, and just shook his head. That's HOA all right. But what the hell are they doing on your land? Good question. I handed over a flash drive, gave him the story, and let him file the incident. I left feeling just a little more pissed off than worried. If there's one thing HOAs love, it's apathy. I don't serve that around here. Back at the ranch, I posted up by the gate with a mug of coffee, watching the ridge. Sure enough, that white SUV showed up again, this time just parked on their side of the line, staring. I doubled up on cameras, swapped batteries in the motion sensors, and waited. It became a game. They'd circle, watch, try to act like they belonged. Only problem was, they didn't. A week later, there's an envelope zip-tied to my gate. Embossed HOA seal, real dramatic. Before I even opened it, I did a slow walk, found the same heavy tire prints and 2 sets of boots. The letter? Ransom note masquerading as a memo. Mr. Flynn, the Larkspur Hills Homeowners Association has received several community concerns, and on it went, saying my private road was now under extended HOA interest and observation. They claimed safety, visibility, runoff, every technicality in the book. Said they'd be making modifications within 30 days, that I was to provide unrestricted access or face a formal complaint. It was so arrogant, I almost laughed. Like someone threatening to evict you from your own boots. I scanned the letter and shot it off to my lawyer, Rachel, the only person I know who can shred someone with a comma. She called me back in 10 minutes flat. They've lost it, she said. That road is yours, legally and physically. I'll handle it. Cease and desist, non-jurisdiction, the whole 9 yards. Meanwhile, I hammered in a dozen new no trespassing signs and angled a few extra cameras for good measure. They tried again, of course. Another letter, more aggressive, signed by Karen West, Community Safety Board Chair. I started calling her Queen Karen after that. She threatened a mandatory inspection and said her patrol agents were authorized to enter for documentation. Rachel's response was nuclear. She quoted codes, property law, even federal trespass statutes. She wrote, "Any unauthorized entry onto Mr. Flynn's private property will be considered criminal trespass and referred to the sheriff's department." I printed that and stapled it to the gate, just in case the HOA folks struggled with literacy. After that, they switched tactics. One morning, I spotted a tripod-mounted camera set up across from my gate, lens pointed straight at my house. Not subtle. So, I had a little fun. Printed a fake engineering survey in progress, joint HOA/county project sign, tossed out a couple orange cones and an empty toolbox just inside the gate. Bait. Next day, two of them show up, eyeing the sign, poking around. My cameras got every second. I even buried a sensor under the gravel that tripped a silent alert and stamped their GPS location. I didn't know what their next move would be, but I figured I'd make it easy for them to dig their own grave. Not 2 days later, my friend Hank calls. He's stuck at the bottom of my road, blocked by two HOA clowns in vests and cones. They told him he needed a resident permit to deliver my hay or they'd report his trailer. I told him, sit tight. Don't say a word. By the time I rolled down there, they'd turned my driveway into a circus checkpoint. One guy with aviators, trying to look tough, the other wielding a clipboard like it was a badge. I flipped on my body cam and walked up. Gentlemen, get the hell off my road. Clipboard guy tries to tell me it's a temporary safety inspection point. I wasn't having it. Show me what law gives you authority here. Silence. I pulled out the county map, parcel ID, and waved at my camera. Smile for the judge. They folded, moved the cones, and left. Hank looked at me and grinned. You want me to run him over next time? Tempting, but I told him let's give the law a chance. Later, I clipped the video and uploaded it. Not because I needed fame, but because, hell, sometimes you gotta let people see what happens when fake authority meets a real line in the sand. It went viral faster than a prairie fire. 10,000 views by lunch, people calling me a legend. It was funny until I got an email from the HOA, a summons to appear before their disciplinary committee for being uncooperative and aggressive. Yeah, that happened. I forwarded it to Rachel. Her reply, now it's harassment. Let me handle it. But I couldn't resist a little twist of my own. I added a laminated QR code to my fake survey sign. Anyone who scanned it landed right on the county website, property deed, my name in bold. The next day, the same patrol car shows up, one of them scans the code, and just stands there, looking like he finally realized how deep he'd waded in. Then, things got weirder. I spot a gray sedan parked down the way, guy in a too-clean county infrastructure, windbreaker, boots barely scuffed, poking around with a measuring wheel. I circled around and caught him off guard. Looking for something? He fumbled, flashed a badge so fake I nearly laughed. I called Sheriff Harland. Turns out, no such inspector. Hold him there, Harland says. But the guy bolted before I could blink. Caught his plate on camera, registered to Dennis West. Karen's husband. If you're counting, that's not just nuisance, that's felony impersonation. Rachel started prepping criminal complaints. I made popcorn. Didn't take long for Queen Karen to show up herself, flanked by two patrol agents. She rang my gate. Then, when I didn't answer, started pacing like she owned the place. 5 minutes later, two sheriff's cruisers roll up. Karen waves them down, drama cranked to 11. They come up my drive, looking apologetic already. We got a call about an armed threat, the deputy says. Let me guess. Karen claims I threatened her with a shotgun? Would you like to see the footage? 10 minutes later, the deputies are in my office watching 6 angles of Karen trespassing, fake inspectors, patrol agents ignoring legal orders. The officers left with nothing for me, but Karen and her minions got written up. Her face when they walked her to the cruiser. Well, let's just say, you can't buy that kind of satisfaction. You'd think that would be enough. You'd be wrong. Next thing I know, they're building a makeshift checkpoint at my property line, canopy tent, branded signs, even a metal detector wand, the whole HOA cosplay routine. Karen, smiling like the cat who swallowed the canary, hands me a pass with my name spelled wrong. From now on, access by HOA permit only. I just stared at her, pulled out my phone, and recorded as I read the charges. Criminal trespass, unauthorized obstruction, you name it. She tried to brush it off. I wasn't having it. What she didn't know was, that morning I'd sent a packet, maps, deeds, footage, everything, to the sheriff, the DA, and a local reporter. Wasn't long before 2 cruisers, a government sedan, and a Channel 7 news van rolled up. Karen turned white as a sheet. Deputies handed out citations like Halloween candy. The prosecutor read off charges, and Karen finally met her match. As she was led to the cruiser, she hissed, "You'll regret this, Milo." I just waved. "Thanks for the pass, Karen." Court came fast. Karen showed up in a suit, looking like she still thought she'd win. Her lawyer barely spoke. The judge didn't buy a word of it. This isn't about community protection. This is trespass, impersonation, abuse of property law. Rachel laid out everything. Deeds, videos, the works. Verdict, Karen gets a year's probation, community service, banned from HOA office. Patrol goons get fines. The HOA itself, over $300,000 in penalties for harassment and overreach. After, a reporter tried to get a quote. All I said was, "I just want to go home." And for the first time in a long while, nobody tried to stop me. A month later, I put up a new sign, steel, laser cut, bolted into concrete, private road. No HOA patrol. No Karen. No exceptions. Added floodlights too, just to be sure. The HOA SUV hasn't been seen since. Life went back to normal. Some mornings, I still check the cameras, sip my coffee on the porch, walk the fence with my old dog, Daisy. Sometimes, just for fun, I scroll through the YouTube comments on the viral video. Most folks side with me. A few call me stubborn. One said, "I'd pay to see Karen pull this in Texas." Not gonna lie, I got a good laugh out of that one. So, tell me, who do you think was in the right here? Do HOAs keep communities safe, or do they just overstep and harass the folks who built the land before them? Drop your thoughts below. Let me know where you stand on justice, property rights, or if you've ever faced a Karen in your own neighborhood. I'm all ears, and trust me, my cameras are too.